Thank you for choosing to join the conversation. Welcome, first time listeners and the Ignite the You crew. Just so you remember, this is your podcast, and the content that you want fuels the show. With that, leave your comments here on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All the links are at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down. We have a great show for you today and hope ignites the conversation with you. Hey, you guys. We have a very interesting conversation for you today, and we have a new person that's going to be joining us. Her name is Shemonica. We've all known each other for quite a while, and of course, Philip. But the topic today is how involved should your children be in your relationship, or how involved should you be in your parents' relationship? Um, these are very, very fuzzy lines, and all of us have some very strong opinions on the matter, especially as the relationship varies. So, as children, what do you guys think about the children being involved in the relationship?
Well, number one, if you got a grown young man is staying in the home with the mother before the guy getting involved with him. First of all, the young man think he's the man of the house already.
Right.
Already.
So now there's a power struggle.
Absolutely. Who's gonna be alpha male?
Right.
Okay. So if you're gonna get in a relationship like that, it's gonna have to be left up to the mother, who's gonna have to, keep this right here in balance. Because number one, if I'm an alpha male and I'm living with another alpha male, I'm gonna be always trying to show dominance. This young buck gonna always trying to show dominance, and we're gonna buck.
And see, from a male perspective, that makes a lot of sense. What do you think, Shamonica?
I think on both sides that if it's a man, it can be a man as well. A man, what if a woman comes into the relationship and a child is involved?
Yeah, that's true
And
too.
that's the man though. A child is involved. So what if, the man and the woman keep getting into it? You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, what if the woman hit that child father?
See, now that brings a different dynamic into it because now there's violence.
There's violence.
So if we're talking about violence in the home, then I don't think the relationship should continue.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
I lived through a very volatile relationship, which was my mother's marriage. And with that, I was caught up by the police with a hunting knife trying to stab this man while my mom is holding me back. And I'm a grown child, so if you're going to be married to him as a woman, a 19-year-old woman, I decided to move from that house because that's your husband, that's you. That's not my father. So I don't have to live in this situation. I took myself out of it because I felt like if I didn't, I was going to do something that I perceived my mom should have done a long time ago.
Okay, speaking on that behalf, I have a stepfather, and he raised me financially.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was in the home with my mom, I was 2 years old, and he took a belt. It was cold. I had peed in the bed. He took a belt and tore me up, tore a plug out of my thigh at 2 years old. I went to the hospital. I still remember that like it was yesterday.
People really don't have memories that young unless they're super traumatic.
Exactly.
That's really horrid. But then you also have to think about some of these are good relationships. Like me personally, I married a man who had a 9-year-old son who is now 23 years old and calls me mom. He's involved in our relationship because I treat him like I would treat my own children. So that's why, when we're talking about children getting involved, and there's so many different levels of it.
You said a mouthful right there. There's levels to it. Because number one, you're not married to my mom. I've been the man of the house. Like I said, you come in, you can rep like a man. But if you come in and you show any disheartening to my mom, any like you gonna put your hand on my mom or you argue with my mom, like, wait, hold up. My mom don't have to go through that. she don't have to go with that. She have a man in the house.
Okay.
No, I can't sleep with her, but she has a man in the house.
Okay, on that note,
Right.
What if that guy and the woman together, he came in, she got this oldest child, but what if he never hit her?
Like I said, it's an alpha thing going on. It's an alpha thing going
I
on,
think
you know.
when you said what you said earlier, you hit the nail on the head. Whoever's child it is their job to organize the relationship between the child and set the boundaries and let everyone know how this is going to be. If you're a mother and you have a 21 or 28 or 40-year-old person that is your child living in your home that is not contributing, you cannot expect anything from that child. So if you know that you can't expect anything from that child, then don't expect them to be all up in your business and don't include them.
Exactly. He ain't paying no bills.
Let's not include the children that are contributing. When I was 16 years old, I went and worked for a local food chain, and when I did that, my mom gave me a bill, and I've been paying bills ever since. And so I don't understand not wanting to have your own. I didn't want to ask my parents for anything. I wanted to be self-sufficient. So that alone is an indication of your parenting style. And while I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, but that's what you accept. So
my mom used to tell
when
me.
does it become a problem when now in your relationship, you know what I'm saying, this child who's you want this new person to support. How does that go?
Well, number one, if a woman who I say gonna value her relationship, first of all, she shouldn't even bring a man, or a man shouldn't bring a woman into a home where there's a grown child. A grown child. I'm gonna say grown
exactly.
child.
I know what you're saying.
Because it's always gonna be that power.
She should move out and be with the guy.
Absolutely.
And did the guy have a place to live before to where he didn't have to go into that situation? Because I didn't live with my husband until we got married, and I really personally, and it's not anything religious, I just don't feel that couples are ready to know each other that well until they have that kind of commitment. That's just how I feel about me, how I run things. So why didn't he maintain his own living space in order to not have to deal with that type of situation as well? Unless he's like, I'm taking on her, I'm taking on this whole situation, I accept what it is, I know what she accepts, and why am I fighting it? I can't walk into her house and not pay any bills and then tell her how to run her home and only take care of myself. That's not fair.
And that's what's going on.
You can't do that. Like,
either you accept me and my living arrangements and how I'm living right now and how I do it, and you love and support it, or this is not the right relationship.
Right.
Like, myself, from a personal standpoint, before I even decide to even give up my apartment, you better believe that I had to know the family, the people that comes around.
We don't went on a long ass road trip to your hometown.
I was paying rent on an apartment. I'm getting to know these people that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, we drove 8 hours to meet his mom and dad. Yeah, we did. I'm not. What I'm saying to you is my philosophy and how I do it. I'm not saying it works for everybody.
But if a woman got grown kids, man, I'm telling you, you gotta put some work in first. Or a man got grown kids, you gotta put some work. You're gonna have to get to know something about. You got to get to know these kids as in your own kids.
So saying this, when I was a teenager, my parents won't let me get a job. I had to work. I had to go to school, and I used to beg, "Hey, can I get a job? Can I get?" Right. No, they always told me no.
Right.
But that's because it's a different situation. You get what I'm saying? So everything was always given to me. but I worked for it.
Right.
And how I worked for it was through my family.
Getting your grades and
through
all
my
that
family.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
look, I couldn't work a housemaid, a job like a corporation or something. But my aunties, my grandma's
They gave you
sisters,
stuff to do.
yes, and I got paid.
See, but
I got paid.
But you learned how to earn it.
And I exactly. But she would let me get a job. But they used to have these houses, they come clean it and throw me $200.
See, and that right there though,
Sure.
taught you the ethic that you needed to be a contributor into society and not someone who is laying up on their parents constantly and all the time.
Exactly. So, with that being said, I would tell the child to move out.
I would definitely have.
I would not have my grown child in my household while I got a man.
Yes.
And we that committed to stay together.
Get intimate with your grown child listening.
Yeah. So everything you do.
Woo!
And it's a boy. It's a boy. I be like, hey, baby boy, you gotta go.
It's talking to me time.
I love you. I love you to death. But you a grown ass man,
right?
You gotta go.
How long have you been out of school?
He's 21.
How long have you been out of school?
What? He's 21, so what?
That don't apply to everybody.
No, it doesn't. I've been out of school since I was 16.
4 years.
Graduated.
Let's say 4 years.
He got out of school at 17.
Yeah.
Okay. At 17, he got out of school. At 18, what did he do?
He at the house.
19, what did he do?
He at the house smoking weed.
20, what did he do?
He's at the house.
21, what did he do?
Still at the house.
Okay, well, like I said,
22.
Nothing changed. Nothing.
22.
Everything is consistent with him being there. Grown ass, no job, getting fucked up every day with his home boys and girls, and his mama is a nurse, taking care of everything.
Well, you guys, we have had one heck of a conversation today. We just want to know what your thoughts are on children and relationships and how far and deep they need to be off in them. So, you guys, we're igniting the conversation. Can't wait to hear your feedback.
Thank you for choosing to join the conversation. Welcome first-time listeners and the Ignite the You crew. Just so you remember, this is your podcast, and the content that you want fuels the show. With that, leave your comments here on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All the links are at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down. We have a great show for you today and hope ignites the conversation.